Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game between Empire's Bratok versus MYM's Starbuck here on Achillean Waste. Starbuck spawning as the blue Zerg on the top left-hand side of the map, and I apologize for yesterday's games or my casting. It just didn't feel all that natural, and it felt like I was just pulling things out of nowhere, trying to make predictions, and nothing seemed to be going right. And I think one of the reasons why was each of those games were part of a best of one series, essentially, since it was a team clan matchup. Anytime you have a best of one, players are a little bit more reserved, or they're more gung ho in trying to try new strategies, and in order to perhaps cheese their opponent. So now we're going to be going back into a good old fashioned series, as Starbuck has spawned as the blue Zerg on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Bratok has spawned as the yellow Terran on the bottom right. Now, it looks as though, yes, this is just going to be a standard opening 13 gas. Most likely you'll see another supply depot here, add on a factory, add on a reactor, and then do a reactor Hellion expansion coming in from Bratok. Meanwhile, if we take a look at what Starbuck is going to be doing, Starbuck just moving around with this upgraded Overlord that just looks prettier and doesn't do anything else. Meanwhile, we are going to be going into the spawning pool, and we are getting gas relatively early. So Starbuck is not in favor of the crazy macro style of Zerg. He may be a bit more aggressive as opposed to trying to get up 4 to 6 queens on 3 bases and then droning up and then just attacking with a superior number of units. So that is what we see coming in from Starbuck. Meanwhile, Bratok is going to go ahead and finish up this supply depot. There will be one Marine trained, and now a second Marine being trained as well, as we should be going into that factory here in just a moment. Now, scouting SCV coming in from Bratok will scout all of this out, and this is important to note if Bratok sees this gas and how much gas has been harvested. So far, Starbuck just wanted a metabolic boost. He is not going into crazy tech. He has gone back into the style of play that most Zerg players have been going as of late, except he wants that metabolic boost just in order to chase down Hellions and Marines in the middle of the field. It does improve all of your Zerglings, and perhaps one of the best upgrades for Zerg. I rarely ever see a Zerg player not get that upgrade, as it is Zerglings are such a bread and butter unit, so integral. Now, we are going to be going into a factory. We can see that the reactor is being placed down, and here is that command center. So this is a reactor Hellion expand, most likely. Bratok, after this swap here, should try and place down a bunker, but a little bit later. I do like the fact that Bratok is playing this a little bit more defensively. He saw Starbuck go for that metabolic boost, and he goes, I want to make sure that there isn't a round of Zerglings inside my base too quickly. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what the follow-up is going to be, as we now see Hellions making their way out across the map, and we do see Zerglings now making their way in. Starbuck knows that there is not an expansion down, but did he spot the command center? Yes, he did, just within sight range there, and Starbuck now knows, okay, there is an expansion there. I do not have to worry about reactor, or sorry, 2-port Banshee or anything of that nature just quite yet. So he doesn't need to train up those additional queens. Instead, going to be going into some spine crawlers, as he did spot these Hellions. The Hellions of Bratok now on the move. We are going to be going into some roaches, and we do in fact have a starport being added. We can see that the armory is also training up as well. And so far, all we see is one of every production building. I can't figure out what Bratok's real strategy is going to be. Oh, the Zerglings. That could have been a whole bunch of damage there, as the Hellions now backing off. What is that armory going to be upgrading anything, as we do see the starport now coming in? We are double training Hellbats, and we're not going into the servo reactors. Also, level 1 weapons upgrade not coming in. Hellbats are extremely effective against Zerglings, but they are simply alright against roaches. Roaches, with their superior range, can generally shoot and scoot and deal a lot of damage to those Hellbats. Hellbats having, I believe, 135 hit points. Meanwhile, Roaches having 145. That 10 hit point difference does make a large difference over time when you have a large group of Roaches battling a large group of Hellbats. Let's take a look. The Medevac now on the move. Medevac does in fact require, or the Hellbat does require 4 cargo slots. So that Hellbat is a very, very big unit. The drop not going to be that effective. But what is this? Oh my goodness, this could be bad play here. If this is actually dropped in the back here, those Hellbats are going to do terrible, terrible damage to those drones. Or you could try to drop them straight up inside the mineral line. And here we go. Are we going to see the drop? Oh, the Hellbats should just be focusing on drones. There's one drone. There's another drone there. As the Zerglings going up against a whole bunch of Hellbats. The Zerglings going up against a single Hellbat, and nicely done. Are we going to see a drop on the back here? No. It looks as though the Queen is going to push back here as we now see a Hellion run by into the main. So 6 workers killed versus 2, not nearly as much as I would have expected, and the losses are pretty even. Meanwhile, Roaches of Starbuck preventing this orbital command from landing, as we now are running off of 5, count them, 5 Hellbats. A new command center being added. This is a crazy, crazy build. Only 1 of each production building, and now already getting into a 3rd command center as the Hellbats and the Roaches are battling it out. Those Hellbats, are they going to get enough damage on those units? No, it does not look like it. SCVs were there, not on auto repair though, as both sides are kind of trying to figure out what the other player is doing. Now, we can see Starbuck is going into a lot more Roaches, but it doesn't look like he's charging up the ramp. Meanwhile, we can see a very, very heavy factory play come in from Bratok. And with Bratok's heavy factory play, I do expect to see Hellbats, Thors, and Siege Tanks. A very, very strong composition of units. These Hellbats handle melee extremely well, also dealing 33 damage to all those light Zerglings, and I believe light Hydralisks as well. So Hydralisks, if they actually get too close, can get burned. So don't play with fire Hydralisks. You will get burned. As the drone now making its way over here, we can see there is one Medevac now looking to do a drop. Is it going to do anything? Perhaps just take down a free Zergling? No, it is not doing that. Just really small on the minimap. We now see the drones just simply walking away. The Hellbat now going up against the Queen. The Queen cannot afford to engage here as a new Hellbat now coming in. Oh, is it going to drop actually in here? Yes, it is. Some drones will get taken down. Yes, some drones were taken down there. But is it going to be enough? Because we are now perhaps going to be going inside the natural expansion. That is a better place to drop. As you can see, damage is being dealt. A lot of drones now taken out and now going to pick back up once more as we are now dropping over here. No, we are not. Just simply going to do a quick flyby as even more factories are coming into play. All right, 5 factories coming online. Servo reactors have not been started. No digging claws, no infernal pre-igniter, nothing of that nature at all. As we can see, the Roaches are making a move out. So far, let's take a look. Oh, a Viking getting off of easy kill on some Overlords, now going Overlord hunting around the map. Bratok still has a bit of an uphill battle. You can see that the Hellbats are trying to take down these rocks here. Siege tanks are in position, and this army of mass Roaches is gonna get shelled to death as long as Bratok has these siege tanks in siege mode. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Bratok doesn't know about the incoming units, and if he spots them, oh, in comes the Roaches, and there's the destructible rocks just in time. Wow. I thought this was going to be bad. I thought they were going to try to come up the front door. Siege tanks now ready to siege. And there you go. Damage is being dealt. They are all trying to push their way in. And all those Roaches, so much splash damage. All these Roaches are going to get taken down. But how much damage can they do first? Taking down 3 siege tanks and now getting inside that main base. The Roaches now trying to engage here. It looks as though those 3 Roaches will get cleaned up. But a lot of losses here on both sides as the Hellbats still trying to chase after those Roaches. You can see the amount of resources lost significantly higher from Starbuck, as Starbuck pretty much just ran straight inside this base where he had no business. And, oh, a siege tank getting off that easy kill. What is this? Another drone. Wow, not quite sure how that's happening, but that siege tank getting in all those shots pretty quickly. Now, What is this follow-up play going to be? Another Hellbat drop happening over here. This mech army so strong as the Medivacs now pulling away. This Medivac has been doing a lot of harassment and flies straight into a group of queens, and one of the Hellbats gets dropped off. But is it going to kill any drones? No. A lot of low hit point drones there as we are now going into an infestation pit. There's the double Thors as I expected to see. We are not going into the servo reactors at all. It looks like we are going to only see Hellions or Hellbats now throughout the rest of the game, as Starbuck will be running on 4 bases compared to Bratok's 3. 87 drones versus 65 SCVs. Bratok feeling very comfortable on his 3 bases. Meanwhile, Starbuck now trying to take up his 4th base as we see 87 drones. That does mean that the army sizes is significantly different. Bratok is higher in terms of supply but lower in terms of harvesters. That means that the army supply is nearly or more than double at this time. Sorry. Yeah, army supply 89 to 42. That is just a huge difference. And how is this all going to be followed up? So far, it looks like Mutalisk going after Barracks, and this does kind of tip what exactly Starbuck is going for, but this is more of a head fake. You can see Enduring Locust and now Swarm Host being added. The Hellbats, the Thors with 2-0 upgrades should be able to absolutely destroy this army here, as we now see that the Mutalisks are flocking over to take down this Barracks. All right, this is going to be a huge attack here. Mutalisk getting shot out of the sky. Another one almost gets taken down as these drones are now being transitioned over to the, 12 o'clock location. All right, this might be the perfect time to attack if it were not for some Swarm Hosts. Swarm Hosts now engaging, and now Bratok needs to engage just as all the Locusts are dead. There you go. Locusts are now dead. Swarm Hosts are currently revealed as the Hellbats now engaging. And I don't even think you need to reveal at this point. All the Hellbats doing so much splash damage. Siege tanks in the back as well. And all of those Hellbats torching many of those Swarm Hosts and now taking down a Queen. So far, drones trying to counter all of those Hellbats. That is not going to work. Drones now coming in over here as well. A new wave of reinforcements coming in from Bratok. And I believe the line has been broken. Starbuck is not going to be able to reinforce nearly fast enough. You can take a look. All of that slow-moving mech. And there is the GG. Starbuck losing game 1 in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.